Wisdom is the believer's guide. He takes it where it comes from. He has nothing to worry about. It's a hadith of Prophet Muhammad. Transmission of knowledge from Kairouan to Salerno. What means a school of medicine? Plane of my intervention, the socio-cultural situation of Kairouan, Bayt al-Hikmah as a school of medicine, constant in the African, Andalusia, and with Adela. North Africa had particular and constant relation with the other side of Mediterranean, and especially with Italy and Montpellier. How to understand the Western Middle Ages Kairouan city from a social and cultural point of view? That's Kairouan. Medieval Kairouan. At that time, we find that Kairouan city experienced a great knowledge boom. We are on 9th century. The libraries, mosques, and homes of Kairouan were filled with books of Jewish translators, philosophers, mathematicians, and doctors. But we can also understand Kairouan through two stories of two women to understand the socio-cultural Kairouan. Arwa the Kairouanaise, and the second woman is Fatima al-Fahriya. The first, Arwa al-Kairouanaise. Arwa al-Himyari was born in Yemen before moving with her father to Kairouan during the year 709. Her father was one of the rich merchants, and he was eager to pamper her at a young age. Then she was the daughter of exceptional intelligence and beauty, but at the same time, at the beginning of his political movement against the Umayyads, Abu Ja'far al-Mansur fled to the city of Kairouan, and it is precisely with his rich merchant that he takes refuge. Arwa's father. Kairouan marriage contract. Abu Ja'far was impressed by Arwa, both for her beauty and for her intelligence. He will go and ask her father for her hand. Arwa accepts, but poses a condition that will mark the history of Muslim women. She does not let him marry another woman as long as they are married. And you don't take slaves. Otherwise, she will have her divorce in her hands. Al-Jahab, the most famous, Al-Jahab says that Al-Mansur spent 10 years at Baghdad as emir, in his power of writing to jurist after jurist, and did his best to let one of them issue a fatwa to marry another or even take a slave. But after the death of Arwa, Al-Mansur took for himself 100 virgin slave girls, but not in Kairouan, and not according to Kairouan's contract. And the second woman was Fatima al-Fahriya. We are in Fez, and Fatima al-Fahriya, we are speaking about women's endowment. Although Islamic jurisprudence didn't distinguish between men and women in this question of endowment and the gateway to goodness, history tells us that women endowments in the Umayyad and Abbasid eras were very few, including the endowment of Fatima al-Fahriya, who built the Al-Qarawiyyin mosque in Fez. Fatima al-Fahriya is therefore the founder of the Mosque of Al-Qarawiyyin in 859. In the following centuries, a school associated with the mosque developed and is considered the oldest effectively continuously existing institution for higher learning. We are at Al-Qarawiyyin, University of Fez. But Bayt al-Hikmah, as a school of medicine, the real school of medicine. What means a school of medicine? Through the history of Tunisia, the Kairouan Medical School is the only school of medicine with the characteristic of a school. What are the characteristics of a school? The history of medical teaching uses the word, the term school, but in a very precise sense. So the best doctors, Ishaq bin Amran coming from Baghdad. He wrote many books, but the most famous book is Tale of Melancholy. Tale of Melancholy. See, Ishaq bin Amran is the father of medical prescription, and therefore of the separation in Kairouan between medicine and pharmacy, according to Ibn Abi Usaybi'a. He is the founder of a school, a real school, the real school of medicine. The Emir also associates another Spanish doctor who regularly disagrees with Ibn Amran's recommendation, and that's why Ishaq ibn Amran reportedly refused the request from the Emir, who then fired him. Without income, he decides to offer his services to the inhabitants of the city, but the Emir ends up ordering his death. Sad ending of Ishaq ibn Amran, the first doctor of Kairouan school. The second is Ishaq ibn Sulaiman al-Israeli. According to the most Arabic authors, he was born in Egypt, 832 in Egypt, and died in Kairouan, 932. Ishaq ibn Sulaiman coming from Egypt. Medical treatises, often overlooked father of Jewish Neoplatonism, is one of the first illustrious figures of Jewish community of Kairouan. He is above all the teacher of Ahmed ibn al-Jazzar. Ishaq ibn Amran, Ishaq ibn Sulaiman al-Israeli, and Ahmed ibn al-Jazzar. Medical treatises, 12 excellent medical books are attributed to him in Arabic, very perfect and pleasant to read, translated in Hebrew, Latin, German, a great contribution beyond the Mediterranean. Ahmed ibn Jazzar, at his desk, Kairouan, or Al-Jizar, he was born in Kairouan, was a highly regarded Arab Muslim doctor of the 10th century, became famous for his writings on Arabic medicine. He was known in Europe by the Latinized name of Al-Jizar, pupil of Ishaq ibn Sulaiman, known with his Viaticum Peregrinorum, translated by Constantine the African, Zed al-Musafir. But other books in insomnia, lack of memory, treatise on the causes of mortality, a book of feverish states, sexual disorders, medicine for the poor, leprosy, natural pharmacy and chemistry, and children's medicine. Children's medicine. But there are pupils and other doctors of this school. Dunash ibn Tamim, Jewish. Dunash with his writings. Musa ibn al-Azar, Ayun ibn Ayun, and more than that. But Constantine the African. Constantine is the real connection between the Kairouan school and the Salerno school. Was probably born in Carthage, probably belonged to a Christian family, traveled to many countries of Muslim influence for almost 40 years, left Carthage, and he landed in Salerno, where he had little time, then retired to the famous Monte Cassino until 1087, the date of his death. He is indeed the biggest plagiarist to whom we would like to establish a statue. Translation of Zed al-Musafir, Colbert and Napoleon had a version of this book. Constantine the African. But why Andalusia? Abul Qasis was a pupil of this school of Kairouan. Just a word, Abul Qasis established it as the best representative and great master of Arab-Spanish surgery, and at the other end of Islamic empire, at the same time, there was Avicenna. This is the era of growing rivalry between Baghdad and Abbasid. Abul Qasis, known as a surgeon, the most famous surgeon, with excellent texts about, for instance, an aneurysm of artery, good text for the surgery, for arteries, and for body, for bones. This is a text of aneurysm. The aneurysm and how to operate an aneurysm. It's a very special surgery. The National Museum of Medicine in Tunis, I created, is the result of our reading of the manuscripts of Kairouan. But Ambroise Paré said that this is how God helped me to tie the artery that I was in an amputation operation without ever having seen someone do it, and just I have, as I have never heard anyone who had done it before. I began my speech with two women from Kairouan, and I would like to conclude by quoting two characters from this exchange between South and North. This time there are two men, Jawhar the Sicilian and Adela. Jawhar was a Siciliano, and from Ragusa especially. And he is, everyone knows Al-Cairo, but few know perhaps that he is the founder of Al-Cairo. He was born as a slave and died crowned as one of the greatest conquerors of North Africa. But with Adela, Abdallah, perhaps Siegfried Junge said the origins of Salerno are lost in the legends, but like all other legends, this one also contains a hint of truth. Secondo Di Giuseppe Amelio, la scuola would teach the students in their native language. Arabic was one of many languages of the Scuola Medica Salernitana. But Antonio Mazza said, gives the year 802 as the foundation date. Through the question, we find ourselves in search of this man quoted by the Italians during the establishment of Salerno School in the 20th century, who left with 11,000 soldiers to conquer Sicily, and then southern Italy in 827. What happened in 827? The most probable hypothesis, it was probably after one of the invasion of Sicily by Asad ibn al-Furat in 827, and special invasion of Salerno in 862, that one of the doctors of Aghlabit, therefore of Kairouan, would have escaped with a pioneering spirit to leave their mark and participate in the transfer of Arab Islamic medical knowledge to create a pillar of dialogue with the other side of Mediterranean. Why? We know that diseases that occur during military campaigns are quite common. That would, that wound and kill, it was therefore necessary for doctors to accompany all military campaigns, that Asad ibn Furat could not campaign without some doctors, especially since he was old, 70 years old, and Kairouan was full of doctors. Sicilia. Adela, Salern was occupied by Arabs around 860, and the Monte Cassino was destroyed at 864. A Kairouanese doctor has certainly treated some wounded men, with probably others. This doctor was named Abdallah, but we don't know everything about him. There is plenty to discover. Thank you.